Now, here we are then, back for another episode of my F1 24 My Team Career Mode, and we are here for the Azerbaijan Grand Prix. Now, we're closing in on the final round of the season. This is round 17, of course, out of 24. The previous one, Monza, Maserati's home race. Go check it out, guys. Link in the top right. Before we jump into spoiler warnings, today we're going to start out with a contract renewal for one of our sponsors. Also, we're going to work on some activities for the team and for our second driver. And yeah, generally speaking, we're almost there now. We've got, 8 rounds to go, give or take, if my math is correct. And the championship is right there. We've got, a decent margin. You can see this weekend we have a couple of upgrades on the car. And things are generally in a good way. We have a durability department event, and there was actually a bit of a going on between, the staff and a particular staff member employee, and essentially there was a bit of, controversy. We had to either fire that person or basically make them apologize, and I'm actually going to go for the apology because it basically keeps the team morale high. Even though to the outside world it might make the team look bad, we want to try and protect our own and do what's best for the team. So with that, we started to move ahead on the timeline, and a whole bunch of other updates started to flood in. We also picked up a fair bit of cash. Again, eyes on that level 3 personnel department, which will hopefully improve Behrman quite a bit, and that's what I'm kind of hoping to achieve in this run-in. A bit of rain forecast for the end of the race, which could be interesting. But we now talk about upgrades. Now, look at this. I mean, the upgrade race is still fierce. It's still going on, and it's just as aggressive as it has been. The first 5 rounds, it got very calm, and then suddenly from like Imola, Monaco, give or take, it's been wild, and it's been an all-out fight. RB still at the top. Ferrari, Mercedes right there. We're currently in 7th still, ahead of Renault, Haas, Williams, Audi. But yeah, either way, last time out we picked up the win in Monza, of course. Not particularly quick, but just a very smart race, using our IQ to basically beat the AI in on-track battles and being efficient with our moves. And we now get to Baku, a race where I don't really know where we stand. Now, I actually thought Singapore was next up, not Baku. I forgot all about this race, and I was planning a scheduled engine change because you can see in the bottom right the ICE is a bit worn, also the control electronics, and just a few other parts are starting to really wear out.
Okay, test complete, and that was a really good job indeed. We got a lot of valuable information out of that. Well done.
But like I said, I thought it was Singapore. It's actually Baku, so I am more than happy to make some adjustments and change components for this race. Now, our pace was really good in terms of the runs. Our tyre wear also very good. Fuel burn a little bit high, but generally speaking, good throughout. We got faster and faster each lap, which is a decent sign. We do, however, finish in last place in practice, but to be fair, we've had that before the season where we have been bottom. Behrman a second quicker nearly on the same compound in P15. But yeah, that's going to be it for practice. Leclerc there, P20, 2 tenths ahead as well on the same compound, kind of highlighting how quick the soft tyre is. Now, as I mentioned, we are going to change components. Now, my concern here, and I mentioned it last episode, is I feel like we're going to blow up, because whenever this happens, we tend to have an engine failure in game. We've had our reliability failures enabled all season basically. We turned them off one time when we had a failure earlier on in the season when we lost the energy store. We turned them off for one race to kind of break the chain or the trend or the chain reaction the game has, and since then it's worked well. But we're now going to put that to the test by changing a whole bunch of components once again, and yeah, we're going to see how that goes. So practice finished, everything went well. We now have some fresh components in the car, and especially some of them like the control electronics, which is brand new, is going to really help us out. We should be able to get to the end of the season with that. My main concern is the energy store. I don't think we're going to make it to the end of the season with that one, but hopefully we can delay the grid penalty as long as possible. Either way, we're now going to jump into qualifying and put those new engine parts to the test.
It is a truly unique layout. Welcome to Baku and welcome to qualifying.
Here we go then, on track for the qualifying session. Soft tyres on our wagon, and we're looking to try and hopefully have a good session. Now we get the lap underway with a little bit of a scruffy turn 1. You know, we almost hit the barrier at turn 2. Also, not exactly ideal. We didn't get the curb at the right angle. Now then, towards turn 3, a whole sequence of 90-degree corners here, braking at the 100. We go in just a little bit early with the turn-in. And yeah, we almost got damaged. Very lucky there. We hit the wall on the inside and the outside at turn 3 there. The rest of the lap, though, was fairly okay. Now making our way to the line, and we're going to set our first banker of the session. And it's going to be a 136.7, just behind Behrman and Zhou in the Audi. So we're going to go again, of course, and just try and correct that mistake. As always, cool down lap followed by a second push. There was time at turn 1 and turn 3. You can see this time we get a much better run through the first corner, and then also into turn 2 we just set up the line a bit better, that we hit the curb at the right angle and get that speed all the way out. I do mess up my engine modes a little bit on the way out on the battery, but we're still able to keep the advantage as we now, again for turn 3, brake at the 100, but this time we try 4th gear and that seems to work better, and we find a whole chunk of time as we're now half a second, now 6/10 up, finding even more time through turn 4. So a very strong first sector, and that's a bit more like it. So 3/10 up on Zhou, currently in P18, so we are quite a way down the order. We lose a little bit of time through that chicane, didn't really get the line right, and it kind of hurt us the entire way through, but we're now starting to find more lap time as we brush the wall on the right side there through the castle. Very, very lucky to not rip off the right front or the right rear as we now get back on the battery, looking to try and straight line brake this turn 11, a left-hander I believe. 4th gear, clip the inside curb and just brush and flirt with the outside barrier as we now head down towards, I believe, turn 12. We go purple in the middle. Not ideal, taking a bit too much inside curb, but we get a good exit and keep the speed up generally through that sequence, and we're going to basically improve by near enough 1 full second. I believe the best time so far is a 135.5, so this will get us somewhere in the ballpark as we head over the line, and it's a 35.7, only P8, but to be fair, it's a significant jump, and we're less than a 10th off Norris in P6. Now we finish the run, you can see Leclerc 35.3, so a bit of an improvement there. We're currently down in P8. Elsewhere, Behrman P18. You've got Hulkenberg, who's got the best last sector with a 23.2. For context, we've done a 0.8, so we're losing 6/10 in the last sector. But to be fair, Hulkenberg with a 0.2 is way quicker than anybody else here. So I wonder if you've got a slipstream from other cars, because, you know, we're generally, I'd say, 2/10 down in sector 3 compared to everybody else. Not, you know, that sort of gap to Hulkenberg. Anyway, final run. We're going to send it, and we're going to try, hopefully jump into the top 5. There we go then, lap done, only P9. There was a few moments there where we could have gained a fair bit more time, but it was a bit of a scruffy lap. It didn't really come together at any point. Lewis Hamilton is on pole, a 135.1. Hulkenberg up to second on those final runs. We finish in P9 ahead of Yuki Tsunoda. Elsewhere, Behrman down in 17th, Bottas with a 5th-place grid drop. And yeah, really, in terms of, you know, things worth noting, Verstappen P15 again, Red Bull struggling with their single lap qualifying pace, but for us, I can't lie, I think we're a little bit off the pace this weekend. I don't think it's our best track, but I say that every time, and then in the race we usually perform. So yeah, 9th place for us. I think P8 would have been the absolute maximum. There was quite a gap to P7, and yeah, in terms of the rivalry, Hamilton of course takes an extra point and is going to almost level up the scores heading into the race. So yeah guys, qualifying done. We're now going to get into the main event, and we're going to find out if we can try and fight back, hopefully be smart with strategy, and fingers crossed get some more big points once again. Let's go. There we go then, lap done, only P9. There was a few moments there where we could have gained a fair bit more time, but it was a bit of a scruffy lap. It didn't really come together at any point. Lewis Hamilton is on pole, a 1:35.1. Hulkenberg up to second on those final runs. We finish in P9 ahead of Yuki Tsunoda. Elsewhere, Behrman down in 17th. Bottas with a 5-place grid drop. And yeah, really, in terms of, things worth noting, Verstappen P15 again, Red Bull struggling with their single lap qualifying pace. But for us, I can't lie, I think we're a little bit off the pace this weekend. I don't think it's our best track, but I say that every time, and then in the race we usually perform. So yeah, 9th place for us. I think P8 would have been the absolute maximum. There was quite a gap to P7. And yeah, in terms of the rivalry, Hamilton of course takes an extra point and is going to almost level up the scores heading into the race. So yeah, guys, qualifying done. We're now going to get into the main event, and we're going to find out if we can try and fight back, hopefully be smart with the strategy, and fingers crossed get some more big points once again. Let's go.
A warm welcome to you from Azadlik Square, heart of Baku, and home, of course, of the Azerbaijan Grand Prix. With high speeds, tight corners, and few runoff zones, many are expecting a safety car here today. So our drivers will have to stay very much on their toes and hopefully out of the barriers. With 20 turns and a length of 3.7 miles, Baku City Circuit in the heart of the Azerbaijan capital is a real test of a driver's endurance, patience, and precision. 90-degree corners through Sector 1, leading to a tightening uphill sprint as we start to circle around the old city. Then a 1.4-mile chase flat out through Sector 3 towards the finish line. Before we begin, let's take a quick look at the grid lineup for today's race. Lewis Hamilton lines up on pole position, and Nico Hulkenberg completes the front row. Looking at the rest of today's grid, we have Leclerc, Fernando Alonso, Sainz, Norris, Stroll, Russell, Martinez, Tsunoda, Oscar Piastri, Perez, Albon, Gasly, Verstappen, Hauger, Behrman, Ocon, Sargent, Joe, Teo Porcher, and Valtteri Bottas begins the race from the back of the grid. It's almost time for those 5 red lights to go out then. Let's see who can prevail today. Welcome to the commentary box. I'm Alex Jakes. Delighted to say joining us for this intriguing race is Anthony Davidson. Now, those final hours before a race, did you have a routine?
Well, for them, you've got your pre-race rituals that you go through. You see different drivers that, some have got their headphones on, they're listening to the music. Some drivers really absorb the energy from the crowd and they're there waving to them. Other drivers, they go within themselves. They chat to their engineers, absorbing that information, that vital information that you need to carry you through the race. And, those pre-race rituals are essential to making things systematic. We do a lot of Grand Prix in a season, and the more systematic you can be, the easier you are within that environment.
Right, here we go. Time for the race. P9, my biggest concern here is going to be reliability. If we make it, I'll be very, very surprised, and we could be breaking a trend if that's the case. Anyway, for this one, strategy, we're going to start on mediums. We have rain forecast, which could be interesting. That could arrive before schedule or after or bang on time. If it were to arrive earlier, it could actually disrupt the end of the race. And yeah, that could be interesting. Now, interestingly here, I'm going to go against what the game says. Now, the alternate strat is what I've selected. The default one is okay. But my plan for this one is to do a medium to soft, if possible. We'll have to drag the medium to around lap 18, possibly 20. And then you can do a short just sprint on softs, which are going to be like 2 to 3 seconds a lap faster at the end, quicker than anybody else. And that's going to be the best way to go, I think, in this one. So yeah, fuel-wise, we're going to run 0.8, which has worked well for us in the past. And yeah, generally speaking, we're ready, locked in, and we're going to try and fight back and hopefully work our way into the podium places. Here we go, lining up on the grid. I don't know what to expect in terms of true pace. I think our straight line speed is going to be very strong. That's my only prediction, but we'll see if I'm right or wrong. Either way, short run to turn 1, so traction off the line will be important. Here we go then. Lights on. Getting the rev sweet spot. Away we go. Everybody gets off the line reasonably well. We sort of get boxed in. So nowhere to go on the outside line. 3 wide, Russell, Norris, Stroll. As we head towards turn 2. We're going to take a wide berth to try and get a bit of an exit, but Tsunoda gets it done and gets ahead. At the minute, we're losing time on the straight here, and I've actually given up the outside line, which is not ideal. Russell hits the inside barrier. At the minute, we're just going backwards. We're going to try and go back around the outside of Perez here at turn 4. Look at the gap to the cars ahead. We've already broken the train. Perez still there, but we'll get around the outside and lock in that position. Really not ideal though, although I couldn't have really done much more. Just, you know, nowhere to really go, especially when you've got a 3 wide ahead of you. You're just kind of boxed in around it. Tsunoda does get the jump, and the straight line speed was pretty concerning on that straight out of turn 2, although I still think my straight line speed's good. So we'll see now on this next straight if maybe I'm actually wrong and my straight line speed's a bit low. If that's the case, we're going to have to push in the corners and try to hopefully approach this race differently, really, and try and be as fast as possible in sector 2 especially, to try and make up the difference. At the minute, Norris seems very slow and passive on that hard tyre, which doesn't seem too good. Onto the pit straight then. The AI are not great on their battery around here historically, especially on this straight, but I do feel like I am struggling to gain on these two in straight line speed as they're both flashing.
DRS is being enabled this lap. We can use DRS when you're within 1 second of the car ahead and in the DRS zone.
Norris has damage. Important that we go through. Left front end plate. So that's P9. Back again. We're now going to try and hopefully get back up to Tsunoda and the cars ahead.
Looks like the ERS isn't functioning. The guys are working on a fix.
Well. It looks like it's working to me, unless we don't actually have performance from that. I think I just brushed the wall there. At the minute, I can't get within Tsunoda's DRS. I think my ERS is broken because I'm using it, but we're just losing time. So, yeah, I think we're just a bit of a sitting duck right now. Nothing we can do at this phase of the race. I just don't have anything right now in terms of straight line speed. Tried to outbrake him, but no answer. Carbon copy of the last lap. I'm just losing Perez through the middle sector, and I'm now out of the DRS range. Like, the battery's available, but it's just not working. At least I don't think it is. Either that or I'm just really slow, but I feel like my battery's broken because I'm just losing time. I mean, look at Tsunoda now, 4 seconds away. There's just nothing I can do right now. We're just slow. Hopefully the issue fixes itself. Simple as that. I mean, we are gaining now on the second half of the straight on Perez, but I just don't know why that's the case when I'm losing so much in the acceleration zone. Oh, someone's gone. I think it's behind though.
Okay, clear.
Mechanical. McLaren, that's got to be Piastri.
I've got information on Stroll. Okay, they're slowing down. It seems like there's some kind of problem with their car.
Okay.
Okay, some information on Piastri. They're retiring from the race.
So there's that Piastri DNF, and now Stroll with car issues. I think he's ahead, so he'll start to drop back a little bit and drop back towards us. I just can't tell if I've still got this ERS problem or not. If I haven't, this is going to be a long race for us because I've got absolutely no pace at all. Literally nothing. I'm just losing so much time. Albon's going to get my DRS here. I don't have an answer. When I use overtake, nothing happens. We just managed to keep him out of there, luckily enough, but this is really, really weird. Stroll, though, we are starting to catch him, of course, with his car issues. My God, mate. We're just getting dive bombed because we're so slow on the straight. Unbelievable. Maybe I've just got too high wing. I, might have got a bit too high on the wing, but it didn't feel like that was the case on lap 1. It's really weird, and suddenly now, when we had that issue with the battery, we're doing okay. It's an odd one. either way, I just don't think we're quick around here. We are not fast. I mean, even Behrman's with me. I mean, I have no answer right now. We're going to get passed by Gasly here, even though I have the ERS. I'll use on my battery, I'll try. And luckily we are just going to hold on. But yeah, I'm a bit lost for words right now. I'm going to try and go down on the wing at the next stop and just see if it makes a difference. You can see here how we're just getting caught with ease. Now we'll get DRS. I'm going to try and get back ahead because the AI just run their battery in a strange way around this track. So we'll be able to basically get back ahead of Pierre, although I'll say that. Albon didn't really want to get on with it. This is a really weird dynamic. Really, really weird. My car does not feel good. Felt fine in qualifying, but I have no answer for the race at all. We'll try and keep Gasly behind here again, but it won't be easy. I'm going to shut the door on his face though. I want to see if I can try and pass Albon here and run my pace for a bit. Looks like Albon's coming in, so we'll take that. I've moved my brake bars forward, but look at that, we're side by side with cars leaving the pits. That's how far behind we are and how slow we've been this race. Baffling, really baffling. I'll try and stick with Alonso if I can on my help us a little bit. It's weird because I just can't go fast. I'm not quick in the corners either. It's really strange. I've never had this before. I'm using all my battery to stick with Alonso and I'm getting dropped. But the corner difference is not that big. It doesn't feel like I have that, you know, opposing offset on corner speed. It's just, I don't have an answer right now. I'm lost for words. I really am. We're like 2 seconds off the pace every lap. And we're gaining nothing with all these pit stops. It's unbelievable. Still, we'll try and stick with these lot as long as possible. Gasly pit on that one. Behrman's staying out. Not sure what his strategy is, but look at that. We're just getting hurt. We're losing a second on this straight alone, even with DRS, if I don't use overtake. How does the back end, you know, do that? On medium, I have no idea. It's amazing. You wouldn't believe I've taken a fresh batch of engine components, considering. And I might even get dropped here. I'm going to lose DRS. I'm not going to be able to get into the DRS range. This is unbelievable. I'm literally using every bit of battery, but I can't get DRS. My throttle's maxing out, just checking, because I'm genuinely wondering if my throttle's not working, but it's all good. So Norris just pits behind. He, of course, still has damage. He's only like 2-3 seconds behind me, so again, that kind of highlights something just isn't right. In fact, the car has damage, is the same pace as me. Behrman's still staying out as well. I'm going to stick to my strategy, but I don't think we're going to get points today. So Yuki's arrived on those hard tyres. Perez also not too far behind. This won't take long for him to go by. He's going to get us here already. And look at that. In medium. I must have the wrong wing. I am puzzled. I'll have to also look back at the sector splits in qualifying to see what we did in sector 3. Like, was we like half a second off? Because I don't have an answer. I was going to try to go to the outside there, but that was really scruffy from me. Yuki's going to stick his nose in, of course, but we're going to shut him out. I hate it when they do that. They just try and re-challenge you under the brakes from way far back. Yuki will get me here easily. I'll just move over and let him go. No point even trying to fight this. We'll be in soon anyways. Carbon copy of the last lap, more than likely on this one. This time it's Perez who's going to have a go. Stroll is looking for the pass. He'll also try and get through. There he is. It's just mystifying how the AI use their battery. How they're so slow on this pit straight, but so dominant everywhere else. Stroll's going to get me here. don't have DRS, and we're going to get overtaken by both of these guys. We'll let Perez go, although at the minute he's not really committing, so we'll move back across.
Okay, expect to see some rain about 10 to 15 minutes from now.
That's not going to arrive, so we're not going to be seeing rain in this race. So we'll just bring it home. We'll probably box next lap for the softs. Checo goes through. Also, Behrman's going along with me on these mediums. But it looks like we might get a chance here to re-overtake Perez, because the DRS pattern's going to repeat itself from the last 2 laps. You see he's flashing, so he's slow. Now he's using battery, but it's too late, we've got momentum.
Okay, be aware, the grip levels are going to start falling away soon.
That was a horrible turn 1. I have no confidence in the corners in the car, to be honest. It's the worst the car's felt all season. This time Perez will go, and we'll let him go easily, although he's taking his sweet time and hesitating with it. But there we go. It would be typical of this game to have Behrman box, follow me in and stack when he's had 20 laps to box. It would be very typical. I've got a wing change selected in case I have some sort of damage or something that's, you know, not working right. But yeah, I don't think there's anything in this race for us. There's also low-key holding out for a late safety car of ERS, but that's not going to happen. We're going to move the bias to 55, and then of course a 4 front wing reduction, which is quite a lot. We might have a ton of understeer, but it's soft tyres, so it should give us the grip. And we're just going to see what we can do in these closing laps, but we've got nothing to fight for now.
Pit strategy complete. See these tyres through to the end now.
Going to be close to the Sergeant, but we'll get out just in front. And the issue is he might challenge us down towards turn 4, and I don't have any battery for it. Just got to hope that wing adjustment is enough, and that seemed to be the case. Right, let's get on the chase and see what we can try and do. I might even go 54 bars and take a risk.
Green flag.
Oh, that's just behind. Let's see, going to be a late twist in this one. I'm definitely not quick though. I would have usually caught Hauger there, but we're nowhere near. We've dropped Sergeant. That Audi's got going, so we're not going to get a safety car or anything from that.
Ollie's in the pits. Ollie in the pits now.
Right, so we should jump Behrman. Come on then, let's try and get Hauger. Another PB. This one's a bit better, but we're going to lose all of that time in the last 100 yards before the start finish because of the slingshot we got on Hauger last lap. But still 39.0. It's a bit better, but we are dead in the water around it.
So we're expecting rain in about 10 to 15 minutes.
Yeah, forget it. It has got dark, but the rain's not going to happen. So this race is going to finish like this. Second morning, I'm pushing to try and catch this Renault, but I'm struggling. And there we go. Leclerc wins, race over. What a weird one. I actually am surprised the engine hasn't blown up. So there's that. I want to see if I can try and get Ocon on the run to the line and save a little bit of pride. But we're going to need a lot here on this straight to try and get him. He's flashing though, so that's a good sign. He's used up all of his battery in the first half of the lap, so we should be able to get him here quite easily. There we go, and also use DRS for good measure. And that'll be a PB on the last lap.
Okay, pick up rubber and bring it home.
From Monaco will win again. Charles Leclerc takes the checkered flag.
Well, they showed true grit out there today, not to be outdone by the rough circumstances. Many points that came their way today. A job well done, not the easiest of days, but they walk away with a race victory.
Here come our winners now. A thrilling race and a tremendous effort by Ferrari. Their history is well known, so it's no surprise to fans the world over to see them come out on top once again.
Well, that was a race to forget. Absolutely horrible experience. I felt so helpless, and something's not right, definitely not right, because on those softs we should have been doing 136s, possibly even higher 135s, you know, like genuinely 2 to 3 seconds off the pace every lap. Really weird issue with the car. I don't think that's all set up. It can't be all set up, because, you know, I used the Baku setup, so it's not right. Even if I did go too high wing, it doesn't add up. Anyway, Leclerc wins, Hamilton, Sainz, and then of course Alonso, Russell, Hulkenberg, Tsunoda, Stroll, Perez, Gasly. The big issue there, of course, is Leclerc winning the race. Hamilton getting second, just 0.057 behind at the line. So we're going to quickly cover the standings, and the gap is now 57 points to Leclerc and 70 to Hamilton and 73 to Alonso. So the three do close in quite a bit. Still got a reasonable gap over 2 race wins, but that was a painful one. And yeah, we're now long gone in the constructors. So yeah, just simply a race to forget. Nothing more to add. Anyway, guys, that's going to be it for this one. In the meantime, on screen now, you're going to have everything from that race that happened afterwards in terms of the fallout, cash payouts. Probably missed quite a lot of our goals, to be honest. We got, you know, a bit of a scruffy race as well. Hit the wall a few times. Got lucky to not get damaged, but yeah, just nothing to take away from that one. Not a single positive, so that might affect us in all departments. Anyway, as always, a massive shout out to my members, guys, of the channel, and we go again next time in Singapore. Check out the 2 videos on screen, and I'll see you guys in my next video. Take care, and that's goodbye from me. Ciao.